How's it going, Angel? Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
How's it going, Rachel? Okay, say hello, Alexandra.
Huh? Oh, hi!
Hi.
Hello, lovelies. I'm giving you, Happy New Year squeeze. I cannot wait for the summer to come around for winter because then we get to hang. And for some people, we get to go cruising. Hello, Region 2 people too. Obviously, I love you and
Okay, have you? Is it recording, Mr. Nathan?
Yes, I just pressed record.
Okay, after Alexandra had finished.
No, just before then.
Oh no, geez, I'm only joking. Welcome, Happy New Year, guys. Our first Zoom of the year, and we have an awesome guest. I'm sure many of you know him. So, put your hand up if you know him.
One of my favorites.
Hey. Well, Krista and Rachel don't know you, but they're going to get to know you. Okay, so I am going to hand it over to, we've got a new heifer. That's Spanish for boss. Okay, we've got a new boss today. So I'm not.
Scott.
Sorry. I know it means a cow in English, and I don't know why I said it. I was on a late night flight last night, and we got up really early. So pardon me. Yeah, play the violin. Get the violin and stop feeling sorry for me, guys, please. So, so Mr. Nathan, what can I say about Mr. Nathan? 3 years ago, I don't think we even had any contact with this guy. He just joined in December. He was one of those guys, he's one of those people who joined and just didn't do anything. You know those really annoying people who join and don't do anything? Well, Nathan was one of them. I think, he was one of them, weren't you, Nathan?
Yes, for many, many months.
But you didn't get a tick, did you?
No.
No, he joined and did really good sales, but it took you about, well, he can explain in his story. Okay. But no, Nathan didn't join to build a big business. I think he joined by total default. But I remember around June time, no, it would have been around May time 3 years ago, this name kept popping up. And it always, it sprung out because I love Warburton's bread. So it kind of we call him the bread man. And when males can do really, we've had a few males in the past before, Nathan, who've done 2,000 PRV, and they normally just buy their own stock. So I was very okay, he did 2,000 PRV this month. Alexandra's getting overexcited, and I'm let's see what he does next month, Alexandra. And then he did another 2,000 PRV, and it kind of continued from there. And he wasn't buying lots of stock either. So in those 3 years, I believe last year your group sold over $1 million worth of Sensi, Nathan?
Correct.
I didn't notice that. I didn't get many. I put Nathan's doing a call yesterday. Didn't get many responses. Then I put some numbers up this morning. Everybody gets excited. We got lots of responses.
I also want to say Nathan has one of the most inspiring Sensi stories I've ever heard, and is a truly amazing person. So when he gives you his tips, he tells you can do anything. With his backstory, you really can. So he is a really, truly special Sensi person with his hubby Matt.
There we go. And Nathan, I gave Nathan a goal to become a director by the end of November, and he basically told me to shove that and did that in October. And he was determined to do that.
I didn't actually tell you that, but I was thinking that.
He didn't. Guys. You can't be. So I am going to pass you over to Mr. Nathan, but let's remember this month. How does it feel? Did you expect January the 1st to hit and 10 people to join your team? It didn't quite happen, did it? Because it never really does. We have to grind it out really, really hard. So before I pass over to Nathan, let's grind it out really hard. Some of us have got some incentive trip points to finish off. Well done, Claire. I just seen a matter of a minute ago that you got level 3. So well done. Krista, we got on the call, who has absolutely smashed level 4. Probably on level 6 or 7 right now if there was one.
Well done.
You can take your whole family.
You can take the whole and Angel and Rachel, I guess you guys are pretty close, but we could. I know. You're level 2, Rachel, and you're close to level 3, Angel, I believe. Yeah.
About 2.5 off.
2.5 off. So let's get those cruise tickets in the bag. And for those who are watching the recording, let's really focus on that recruiting and the cruise points this month, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Nathan. Do you want to mute us all, Nathan?
If you want, I don't care, yeah.
Yeah, you got control to keep me quiet. So you take control, Nathan.
I'll just mute you then.
Just mute me. I wish I had this system in the house too. Jeez, I could mute Alexandra. That would be great. Technology these days, that would be great. So if you want to mute us, mute us. If you don't,
I'll leave it and see how we go. But if any of you guys want to pipe in, you're quite welcome. I'm going to sort of be quite casual. I'm sitting on my bed because our lounge room light blew and I didn't buy one today. So, yay.
Love it.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, I'm Nathan. Some of you guys may know me. Some of you guys may not. Pretty much like Scott said, you know, it would have been, 29th of December, I think it would have been in 2014 we joined. And the main reason Matt and I joined was because we had gone to a Sensi party from one of our friends who had to get a consultant to come up from Sydney. And we loved the stuff. We brought the stuff and we went, yeah, we're gonna love this. So we brought a few $100s worth of stuff, got home, used it all. A few months later, we couldn't find a consultant anywhere. And we thought, well, stuff it. Let's just join. It's 100. I don't know what it was back then. $150 to join. If it, you know, we're not going to really sell it. We're just going to buy it for ourselves and, you know, help supply, you know, our friends with their Sensi addiction. And that's pretty much all it was. It was never going to be a business. You know, if you would have said to me 3 years ago, oh, you know, you would have had a team of X amount and you would have sold X amount of dollars in 3 years' time, I would have laughed and said, you got to be kidding. So pretty much we end up joining just off a whim, pretty much, just to service our own Sensi needs. And that, like I said, was in December. And like Scott said, we did really nothing. We sold a little bit here and there. We never got a tick. We never became inactive. But it was probably close. Actually, probably the month that we were, if we hadn't placed an order the month that we did, probably the following month we would have had a tick. But pretty much what happened was I had my cousin in my care. I had my cousin in my care for, probably about 2 or 3 years. And part of her placement was that I could not work. I could not go to a conventional 9-to-5 job. I had to pretty much be her constant carer, even when she was at school. So I didn't have any employment as such, other than the money that I was receiving off community services to have her and to look after her. And Matt was working part-time, I think it was at the time. And pretty much what happened was my cousin got to the age where teenage years thought that, you know, there should be no rules, there should be no boundaries, no guidelines, and she rebelled majorly and decided at the split second that she was going to self-place with another family member. So she went to another family member, and we pretty much went from, you know, having, you know, income to help us live, to help look after her, to help pay the bills, help pay our rent, to literally living on Matt's money, which was a few $100s a week, which wasn't going to cut it. It wasn't going to be enough. So we had Sensi sitting there, and I think I'd only just been added to the Emeralds. It took my sponsor, who's no longer around, to add me, so many months to add me to the Emeralds. And prior to that, we had no sort of, you know, sense of community. We had no vision of what this business could be. So I do probably add that to, you know, one of the main reasons why we believed that we could make something out of it was the sense of community that we received from Scott and Alexander's group. And, you know, I can't stress that enough. I'm going a little bit off sidetrack now, but I can't stress it enough. You know, when it concerns this business, it is about building a community. And you've probably heard Scott rattle on about it, and you've probably heard us rattle on about it, and everyone else rattle on about it. But it truly is the case. You know, if you have a 9-to-5 job that you go to that you hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate your fellow workmates, you don't want to be there. But if you have a sense of community, which you guys can create in your own team, your people are going to want to stay, and you're going to want to stay, and you're going to want to make something out of your business. So sorry to get completely sidetracked, but yeah, that had to be said. So make sure you add your teamies to Scott and Alexandra's page, and to have your own page and so forth. But so April comes around. And I said to Matt, look, I didn't want to go back to work. And the main reason I didn't want to go back to work was because, one, I didn't want to have a boss, telling me what to do. And I didn't want to, go back to the 9-to-5. And I was a chef by trade. So 9-to-5 isn't 9-to-5. It's, sometimes 7 in the morning to, 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And it just wasn't something I wanted to do. And prior to having my cousin in my care, I had my own business. So I didn't have a boss back then. And I didn't want to fall back into that sort of trap. Another reason is that I wasn't quite ready. I wasn't quite emotionally ready, and quite stable enough in my sense to be able to go back to the workforce. And when I had my business, I had my mum helping me one day and one night. And on our way home, she was driving in a car behind me, and I was driving in front of her. And she was tragically killed by a P-plate driver who was street racing, and killed her instantly. And it did so much to me as a person and emotionally. That, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go back out and do something, especially back, in the hospitality industry, going and doing something that, had such a horrible connection to. So I just needed something different, and I needed to try and help myself grow as a person and get out of that little, cocoon that I had wrapped myself in. So pretty much I said to Matt, let's just do it. Let's just do Sensi. Let's see what we can do with it. If we can make a couple of extra $100 a month, it's going to help. So we set the goal that we wanted to have our Sensi business, pay for our rent. So our monthly rent. And that was our main goal. And back then our rent was $400 a week. I don't even know how much of that is in the month. Maybe, $1,600, something like that. I'm no good with maths, but that was our goal. That was our long-term goal. So we sat there, and like I said, we didn't have very much contact with anyone. And we thought, well, what could we really do to try and get this business out there? So it was parties. So every single person that we knew liked Sensi, we spoke to first and got them to book a party. We more or less pressured them to do it. And then everyone else who we knew loved fragrances or candles, we got them to book a party. And we pretty much went from there. And that 1 month, I think we had, something like 8 parties. So we went from never having any party experience before, never having any type of this role before, to having 8 parties. And that was pure desperation that we needed to, try and make it work. We needed to try and get some cash to be able to help live. So I think we finished that month and the following month off well over 2,000 PRV. And the very first month, the commission, because I didn't understand the PRV, we didn't understand any of that. The commission that we received that month was enough to pay our monthly rent. And that was like, well, hold up. That was our long-term goal. Our short-term goal was a couple of extra $100 a month. Like, how can this happen? If that's our long-term goal, what can it be now? So we sort of, went off into the wilderness for a little bit there and not had an idea of what we wanted out of the business. And then up come along Scott and Alexandra, and Scott went ahead and messaged me one night, and we started chatting pretty much like what you guys, probably the initial contact that you guys have had of Scott as well. And he more or less took us under his wing and mentored us. And I've said it time and time again, and I know probably your sponsors or your directors have probably said the same thing as well, is listen to Scott. Listen to Scott. That's the number one rule or number one tip I can give any of you guys. There are going to probably be times, and honestly, everything that Scott said.
Say that louder for Alexandra, Nathan, please.
Listen to Scott. Scott's always right.
Oh, God.
So, look, I can tell you now, there wasn't a time there that I thought to myself, oh, this guy's full of crock. Some of you guys, at times may think that, For me, it was like, okay, he's saying this, I could probably do this, and I might get half of what he's saying, or I might be able to build a business that's, a quarter of what he's saying. And I never for once doubted what I was told to do. And that's pretty much what it was. I know he tells you guys, you need to do 2,000 a month. You need to bring in X amount of people. If you want the lifestyle that these guys have, that many other directors have, or even just to go ahead and have a full-time wage from your Sensi business, you need to start taking seriously what he's saying. And, I'm not saying you guys don't, because you probably do. You're here, you're taking part in this. But, really, really, as much as, it's probably going to be hard and, to continue to, think that they're realistic goals at times. It's as much as you push yourself, you'll know that eventually you'll get the business that you want, or you'll get the goal that you want in regards to Sensi, if you just listen and you keep pushing yourself. That was where I was going to go elsewhere, but I'll speak about that in a second. I'm like all over the shop all the time, but it's all good. I say to Scott, I'm rambling, and he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, I am. So my tip number 2 would be to work it like a business. Now, it may very well be paying you guys like a business now. Probably not a multi-million-dollar business, but it may very well be paying you like a business. It may be paying you like a part-time job. But whatever it is paying you like at this point in time, work it like a business. Because what it comes down to is, if you're thinking like a business person, you're consistent like a business person, and you're continually thinking of your Sensi business as a business and not just as this, this standard side hobby, you're going to go ahead and, as much as it's not probably paying you as a business at this point in time, but as long as you're consistent, you're continuing to do the proven, roadmap to success when it concerns Sensi, you'll eventually get to a stage where you'll sit there and you go, holy crap, this is a business. It's starting to pay me like a business. I'm running it like a business because it is a business. So as much as it may not seem like it at this point in time, as much effort that you put into it now as treating it like a business, you're going to show those rewards. And that was the number one thing that we did, Matt and I, that if we weren't in that mindset, it probably wouldn't be where it is today. We probably wouldn't have hit director, because if we were just, all over the shop, which pretty much I am the way I speak sometimes, or give trainings. But if we're all over the shop, you're not going to get to exactly where you want to be, or you're not going to feel that full potential that you really, really want. So my third tip would be, well, it's part of the second anyway, is be consistent. Be consistent in your all. And what I mean by that is, there are going to be days. There are going to be days where you wake up, you're not going to want to post. You're not going to want to, you know, try and book parties. You're not going to want to have to deal with the team member that's giving you strife, you know. But if you're consistent in running your business as a business, you're consistent with your partying, you're consistent with your mentoring with your team, you're consistent with the way that you have contact with your. Ooh, we just had a little bit of a lightning surge or something that just happened, or it's another light ready to blow. But if you're consistent with your customers, you're consistent with everything in your business, and I know it can be hard at times, you're going to go ahead and build a business that has a very, very, very strong foundation, and a business that isn't going to go, you know, bang at the end, you know, at the end of the road where you're not going to have a business, or you decide that you're failing or something like that. You know, if you're consistent, you're going to, or if you're consistent at doing the things that you should be doing in your business and not consistent of, you know, taking every day off, or, you know, moaning on Facebook groups or whatever it may be, you're consistent at the good things that help you generate your business, whether it be income or you know, what have you. The fourth tip to get you guys to director would to be massively partying hard. And I know some of you guys, actually, I think all of you guys actually that are on this Zoom now are all heavy hitters. You know, you are all hitting your 2000 PRV. You are all really, really partying hard. And that is the best thing you guys can do for your business. Because one, I say it to my team all the time, we don't have a shop front. We are the shop front. You know, it's not like, you know, your customers are going to, you know, drive past Woolworths and go, oh my God, I need to go ahead, like they do with milk or bread, and go, oh, I need to stop in and I quickly need to grab, you know, some wax, or I need a warmer, or I need this. You need to be your shop front. So to be able to be your shop front, if you're out there and you're actively working your business by booking parties and, you know, following up with your customers, you're going to build that business that is going to reach more people. And that's what this business is about. It's about reaching more people. And the more people you reach, the more chances are that you're going to get sales, you're going to get team members, and you're going to get what you want out of your business. And it's all about those extra connections. And the best thing to get extra connections is to party hard. The next thing is, as well, when it concerns like partying hard, is also sponsoring hard. You know, you can go ahead and, you know, sponsor one person a month or one person every year. Are you going to get to where you want to be in the time frame that you've set for yourself? Probably not. Probably not. Let's be real. You know, we see people come into this business all the time that, you know, want this and they want that, but they just don't get that. One, they've got a party, regardless of what type of parties it is. And if they want that life-changing income, that they have to sponsor. And when they sponsor, that they need to mentor their team members. So yeah, party hard, sponsor hard, and teach your teammates to do exactly the same. And you've probably heard that a million times, but that is one of the best tips I could give you, is that, you know, if you're partying hard, you're sponsoring hard, and you're getting your team members to do the same, you're going to build a business a lot stronger and a lot faster and a lot bigger than what you can do alone. And that's pretty much as simple as it is. My fifth top tip would be, I think that was the fifth. Yeah. Okay. Work with your team. Okay. As I said previously, there are going to be times where you're not going to want to deal with, you know, that ruthless team member or whatever it may be. But, you know, or you may even have the philosophy or mindset that you only work with your sponsored team members. You don't work with your other team members. Well, you guys aren't directors yet, but you guys are going to be. Now, I don't know. I don't think any of you guys that are on this tonight are Scott and Alexandra's front line, right? None of yous are, right? No?
No.
Angel.
No.
Angel is?
Yeah,
Oh,
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Angel.
Awesome. So, you know what I mean? So out of all you guys, there's one that's Scott and Alexandra's front line. And if you lead from the front, but also follow in the footsteps of those, you know, who have succeeded in this business by working with your team and not just your front line. You know, if Scott and Alexandra were just working with their front line, would they have the team that they've got now? Would they have the income that they have now? Probably not. They wouldn't be sitting here with you guys now. They certainly wouldn't have reached out to me because we're not their front line. So it's all about creating that sense of community, because, you know, eventually people leave this business and people roll up, you know, some of you guys might have rolled up to your sponsors because your sponsor had left and so forth. But, you know, if you have that connection with your team, and I don't mean, you know, have, you know, the best relationship with them and move down the road or have them live in your spare bedroom. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, if you've got some type of connection, whether that's just a text message every now and then and go, hey, you know, you've done an awesome job, or congratulations on what you're doing, you've got that connection there. So if, for instance, you have people that decide to leave the business and you have team members roll up to you, they're not going to go look at you and go, who the hell are you? I'm not going to listen to you because you only look after your front line. I've not had any contact with you. So as they say, you know, I don't even know what the saying is, but, you know, you catch more bees with honey than I don't know. You know the term, don't you? Yeah, okay.
Catch more bees with honey than with vinegar.
Yes, that's it. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, if you're out there and you're giving a little bit of love, I don't mean, you know, give your whole life to your team and everyone in your downline, but if you give a little bit of love to everyone, you're going to develop that sense of community where people are going to want to stay. They're going to want to build their business and they're going to want to work their business, which in turn is going to help you guys massively as well as themselves. So one tip that Scott gave me was to always go ahead and be on the lookout for your next star, whether it be a title of star, but your star in your group. And it doesn't matter whether you've sponsored them or whether they're 10 generations down. Be on the lookout. If you see someone with potential and they're not quite getting the help that you think they should get, jump right in there. Help them out, you know? And I don't mean ring them up and go, hey, you need to be doing this. Make that connection with them first and express how you can see that they've got that ability to really, really have an awesome business. Some of them may not want your help. Some of them may not want what you're suggesting. But, you know, if you're out there and you're really out there, you know, helping your team and being a true leader, you're going to find that you're going to develop a business that will amaze you to what you even believe you could even have achieved yourself. And it's all about teamwork. It's all about having that combined success. So yeah, last but not least, before I hand over to you guys, is don't give up. Okay, there are probably going to be times in your business, as it is, you know, in any job, that you're going to have those moments. Stay with free. That you're going to have a bad day. You're going to have a day where it's going to be going great, and then something happens and it's going to be going crap. Just don't give up. As much as you see that there is something at the end of the line, you know, if you give up, you're not going to achieve what you really want out of this business. And more or less, you know, it is sometimes like, you know, a rat running around on those wheels where you're running and you're running and you're running and you're running, and it's like you're getting nowhere. And I think you guys have all had that. Okay, I know I've had that in my business. I've had that in my own life, where you're continually running on this wheel and you think you're not getting anywhere until you finally get off and you realize, wow, look at the mileage I've just run. Look at what I've been able to do in that time frame. So even though at this point in time, or in certain times of your business where you feel like you are just over it, have a think of what you have truly accomplished in your business and step back and take a look. because only then will you realize what you guys have achieved. And, you know, all of you guys on this have earned the cruise or the trip or whatever you're going to take. Congratulations. Keep it up. And, you know, yeah, that's me. I'm done.
I was just saying to Alexandra how much, oh my God, what an awesome natural born leader Nathan is. And he just kind of, it just all comes naturally to him. But I'd like to add just two things, which I've got in my head from Nathan's call, is the community thing. We met Nathan in Sydney, would have been 2.5 years ago. And I remember him saying, he was like, oh my God, Scott and Alexandra have got 27 team members at the reunion. And so he's like, oh my God, we could never do that. We could never do that. And 27 team members, okay, in my eyes, it was like, oh my God, we need way more than that. But it was like, you know, that was a good figure for, you know, 2 foreigners launching in Australia. That was an all right figure. And then Nathan, this year in Melbourne, say it again, Nathan.
That's one foreigner launching.
Oh, one foreigner. Sorry, Alexander launched. Sorry.
Well done, Nathan.
Sorry. But in Melbourne this year, Nathan, 2 years later from that Sydney experience, and Matthew, of course, had 20 what?
What's that, sorry?
How many team members did you have in Melbourne?
Melbourne, I think we had... Melbourne, it wasn't a huge turnout. I think we had about 16, but it was world premiere last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we had at our event, we had 34 team members. And all up, it was close to 50 team members throughout Australia that actually went. So it was something there that we thought we'd never be able to achieve because we'd never had that many team members. But it was something of, you know, that was a goal. We wanted to be like them. We wanted to have that sense of community. And that's what really, really struck home, that we've created that. As much as there's times there where we go, oh my God, you're not getting anywhere. You take a step back and you realize that these little goals that you've set for yourself, you have, and you've smashed them. So.
And the best thing about the Emeralds as a whole, I'm not just saying that because me and Alexandra run it, is, you know, like 3 years ago, it was just me and Alexandra and our big community. Now it's the big community, and then Nathan's group is a part of our community, but he's also got his own community. And like Krista, who's in Lee's group, she has her own community, but you're also a part of the big community.
Yeah.
So this will be you guys. You know, you'll always be a part of our community, but you'll go on to build your own community. And there's no better sense of satisfaction than having your own community and helping other people within that community.
And it is so important that you try and develop that now, and try and think as a director and work like a director now. So then when it does happen, it's going to be such a smooth transition for you and your team.
Give me 1 minute.
Alexandra just wants to add on something.
Very quick. Hi, I know time is running out. I want to say just 2 things. One, the importance of going to see your team. Human connection is absolutely massive. Meeting our Aussie team and our Kiwi team and going and seeing them, and you can really see people's passion for the business and find your stars and your golden people. Or just give love to those who just want to share. That is huge for us. We will come and see you guys in any region anyway, whether Sensei's running events or not, because it is so important to have that personal connection. And there was another thing. What did you just talk about then? Community. People will follow you and people will follow your lead. So try and be the best leader that you can be. And if you want to have a team that is kind and caring, be kind and caring. If you want to have a team that gives more than it takes, be that person, because the team, our Emeralds are amazing. They are so, they take no messing, but they're very positive and they have massive belief, and that's because I think we do. But all your teams have very individual personalities as well, and extra fabulousness that comes from your leaders. So, you know, whatever you want to see that team do, be that person. That's from me.
And I'd just like to add to Alexandra's, for example, we were in the South Island in, where does Crystal live? In Invercargill.
Yeah, that's where we met.
And I remember sitting around a dinner table, and I'm always like this. Nathan would know this. And Krista just said something, and in my head I thought, okay, she needs to come under the wing.
And Krista was the first name we talked about in the car.
Yeah, and Krista then was the first name who we talked about in the car after that meeting, saying she has huge potential.
And then talked to Lee and said, can we chat to her?
Yeah, so that is what you do. You always listen out. But something else I want to quickly before on Nathan's call is the downline. No matter, like, we help people on who are not on our pay line, and always do this because you never know, they might end up on your pay line. But there's no better satisfaction than when someone is on our 5th gen and there's not a chance I'm going to get paid on them. That is like me giving back, and that makes me feel good that I'm helping someone. That just proves to me that I'm not just in it for the dosh. Okay, so always have that mentality, because we had it with the Thurmans. They took us under their wing 6 years ago, and they never get paid on us. We went to, if Nathan doesn't mind me sharing, we went to Nathan's wedding. They paid for the reception bell. And they're never going to get paid on Nathan. They're never going to get paid on us. But they show that kindness, and always show that kindness to your team. Always say, okay, you never know when they're going to roll up.
You don't have to pay for wedding.
Yeah, you don't have to get paid for it. I'll invite you to our wedding.
Who's paying for this? I need to set up a GoFundMe, do I?
Yeah, no, don't go pay for everybody's weddings, but always remember you're here to help people in your group grow a business, no matter how far they are, no matter if they're your top line, your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. It doesn't matter. Always show that kindness, because it's all about giving more than you take, and that is what this business is all about.
Oh, and pass it on.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll hand you over to Mr. Nathan for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think Alexandra was mentioning something about pass it up. Is that what?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are going to be times that you're going to have, crap in your business, and I'll put it nicely. If you want to be successful in this business, pass your problems up. And what we mean by that is see your upline, see Scott, see Alexandra. If you're having issues, don't pass it down to your team, because you pass it down to your team, it can be a snowball effect. Even though that you may not intentionally want that snowball effect, it can very well happen. So yeah, pass it up, pass your problems up.
Yeah, we have bad days. Some of our downline thing was superhuman, but we never tell you guys our bad days. We pass them up. Okay, we're very positive, so we tend not to have many bad days. But if we ever have any issues within our business, I don't go, oh, Angel, Jesus, I got this recruit who's just giving me loads of grief today. Can you give me a few tips, please? I go to Jen, I say, oh, Jen. And then Jen would go, oh, yeah, I've had that, Scott. And then we'd talk it through, and then we're all over it. So always pass your issues up. So, well, thank you very much, Mr. Nathan, for giving your time.
Thank you for having me.
And
Thank you, Nathan.
Isn't he awesome? He always says he rabbits on, and I must admit, I do look at some of his live videos, and they go on for an hour, and I go, oh, my God. Well, it's an hour full of awesome value, So I always go, oh, my God, Nathan's done an hour video, but then you actually watch it, and then you actually get an hour's worth of value, so you never rabbit on Nathan. Always remember that, okay?
I'm writing Orville's next speech. It's all good.